3.7 miles. That's all the distance that separates Paradiso Field and Hidden Valley Soccer Complex. Paradiso Field, home of the Tiffin Dragons, and Hidden Valley Soccer Complex, home of the Heidelberg Student Princes, are where the two college soccer teams in the small town of Tiffin play. But while separated by only 3 miles, they've only played each other 2 times total in both men's and women's soccer, with Heidelberg's soccer program beginning in 1966 and Tiffin's in 1983. Both have a long and storied soccer program. And in 2015, the two met on the field for only the 2nd time since 1988. And for many in the town, it was a once-in-a-lifetime event. Tiffin is a small town in northeast Ohio made up of some 18,000 people. It's named for Edward Tiffin, Ohio's first governor and a United States senator. It's a town that's at sea amongst the familiar fields that one sees covering the Ohio landscape. The town is cut in half by the Sandusky River, which also separates the two universities, Tiffin on the west side and Heidelberg on the east side. At one time, it was known to be a glass and porcelain manufacturing center, much like its regional neighbor to the north, Toledo. Of the 4 teams in the city of Tiffin, men's and women's at Tiffin and men's and women's at Heidelberg, the most successful one is the men here at Tiffin. They play at Paradiso Field, right here. You guys can see the green clubhouse over there. On the outskirts of Tiffin, with the soccer field running parallel to a cornfield. You guys can see it off in the background over there. The athletic fields were constructed in 1997, and they feature a baseball field, softball field, soccer fields, football fields, and running tracks and a cross-country course. There's the stands right here where the Dragon fans sit. The men's program began in 1983 in NAIA College's 4th division. They had immediate success, winning 9 straight conference championships starting in only their 2nd season in 1984, all the way until 1992. During that time, they would secure their winningest season to date in 1988 with 22 wins, and also their least amount of losses in a season with only 2. That season would see them qualify for their first NAIA tournament, going all the way to the Final 6, NAIA's version of the Final 4 at the time. They would repeat this feat on 3 more occasions, doing it in 3 straight seasons from 1990 until 1992. However, never capturing the ultimate prize of a national title. During this time, a man by the name of Fillmore George played at Tiffin from 1988 until 1991, and he would go on to make 4 straight NAIA All-American honors and become the only Tiffin University athlete to be inducted into the NAIA National Hall of Fame. He won the NAIA National Player of the Year in 1990 and finished with 202 career points, 85 goals, and 55 assists. That's pretty impressive for a small university on the outskirts of town. You can see the beautiful green grass. It's a beautiful day out today. You guys can see they got their accomplishments up right here. In 2008, Tiffin Athletics would make the jump up to 2 divisions to Division II, again experiencing immediate success, going 15-4-1 in 2009, only their 2nd season in Division II. Over the next 15 years, they would go on to win 8 trophies, 2 GLIAC regular season titles in 2013 and 14. Then with their move to the newly formed GMAC, they would win 3 regular season titles and 3 tourney titles, including completing the double twice in 2018 and 2023. Here's actually their 2 banners celebrating the double. You can see the regular season champions, and then the tournament champions. Same thing here in 2019. Tournament champions celebrating their 2019 NCAA tournament appearance. You can see the NCAA logo right there. Unfortunately, the one place where the success is not translated for the Dragons on the field is in the NCAA tournament. They've made the big dance 7 times, losing all 7 times at the first hurdle every single time. Losing twice to Drury of Missouri and twice to Maryville of Missouri. There you go, here's their little dugout. It almost looks like a baseball dugout. You can see home. To put the Tiffin's men's success into one stat, of their 43 seasons, they've had 39 winning seasons and only 3 losing seasons. That's very impressive. Yeah, so here's their dugout. You can see home. There's the visitors. It's pretty cool, actually. You got Tiffin soccer right here. Dragon soccer, Tiffin soccer. Great Midwest athletic conference that they play in. TU for Tiffin University. You got the Dragon head up there. The women's team began in 1991. Their golden age would come in the late 90s and early 2000s. They would win 15 or more games from 1998 to 2001, winning the American Mideast Conference from 1998 to 2000, and recording their winningest season in 2000 with 18 wins. After moving to Division II, they would make the NCAA tournament twice in 2008 and 2010, losing to Quincy on both occasions. They have not recorded a winning season since 2012. Yikes. On the east side of Tiffin, across the Sandusky River and over the many bridges that dot the town, is Heidelberg University. Founded by German immigrants in 1850 and named for the town of Heidelberg in Germany. Their nickname is one of the more interesting ones, the Student Prince, named for the silent film titled The Student Prince in Old Heidelberg, originating from the Sigmund Romberg operetta. The men's and women's soccer teams play their home games at Hidden Valley Soccer Complex, located just a few blocks south of the university. But they also play a few home games at Hornerman Stadium, which is the school's football, lacrosse, and track and field stadium. On the southern edge of Heidelberg University sits Hidden Valley Soccer Complex, home to both the men's and women's teams here at Heidelberg. Both compete in the Ohio Athletic Conference, and of the two programs, the women are the more successful. Beginning in 1988, they hit the ground running much like the men at Tiffin did. From 1990 to 2000, they won over 10 games all but once, and took home 10 trophies in the process, and made 2 appearances in the NCAA Division III National Tournament. They would pull the double impressively in 3 straight seasons, winning both regular season and conference tournaments from 1993 to 1995. Unfortunately, since the turn of the century, they've not been able to duplicate that form, only posting 4 winning seasons since the year 2000 and winning no trophies or making any NCAA tournament appearances. So I came over here to the Hidden Valley Soccer Complex. This is pretty cool, actually. They actually have like real like benches for like the stands or for the fans right here. And as you can see, when I fan out here a little bit, they even got like a second row for them. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Man, this field sure does remind me of like a field in like Ireland or something. The whole thing is just flooded all around. It's pretty nice though, because you guys can't really tell, but the field is kind of at like a little bit of a slope so that it's going uphill and everything kind of drains off to the side. So they definitely had that in mind when they built this place. Let's go check out this old stand over here. I mean, this thing looks weathered. Yeah, you can hear my feet like squishing in the freaking water. It's so wet right now, and it's not even raining either. It's like blue skies out, sun's out. You guys can see like how waterlogged the pitch is right here. I think there's a pond right there. I don't even know if that's a pond or if the field's just flooded, but yeah, my socks are soaked. Look at this classic old barn right here. It kind of reminds me of Tiffin's. Tiffin has a similar thing. You don't see these. It's almost like a dugout or something, like in baseball. Yeah, look at that thing. The Berg for Heidelberg. That's pretty cool, man. This is their mascot, the Student Prince, one of the more interesting mascots in America. And this dugout right here is where the men's team would have sat for the last 60 years, starting way back in 1966. Known more for its longevity as a program, the men have only ever taken home 2 trophies in their entire existence. The 2010 OAC regular season trophy and the 2014 conference championship. And it's the 2014 season that I really want to focus on, because they would go on an epic run for their longest tenured head coach in his final season. That year would be head coach Brian Haley's final year in charge, having coached the men's team since 1989. Heading into the OAC tourney at 10-9, they knew they would have to win it all to get their head coach in his first NCAA tournament in his final season. A late 2-1 quarterfinal win over Marietta would see them face off with Baldwin Wallace in the semifinals. Down 3-0 at halftime, they would pull off a stunning comeback, scoring 3 second-half goals and then completing the comeback on a double overtime golden goal in the most extraordinary of circumstances. Coach Brian Haley would call it the greatest night in his football career. They would then beat top-seeded John Carroll at their place 5-4 to win their first conference tourney title in program history. Wow, what an amazing run, being down 3-0 at half to win and then winning a 5-4 championship game. They would go down 1-0 before rattling off 5 straight goals. 3 late goals from John Carroll would make the scoreline closer, but the result was always inevitable. It was a magical run that would see them make their first NCAA tournament, unfortunately ending at the first hurdle to the Kenyan Lords 3-0. Coach Brian Haley would retire after 26 seasons with a 243, 199, and 41 record. Tiffin's Paradiso Field and Heidelberg's Hidden Valley Athletic Soccer Complex are separated by only 3.7 miles. So being that they're so close in vicinity and that they're only 1 division apart, you'd expect that they would meet each other more. But in fact, they've only ever actually met each other twice on the soccer field. With the 2 meetings coming between the men, first in 1988 and the second one coming in 2015, right here at Hidden Valley Soccer Complex. Here's a scoreboard, as you guys can see, Heidelberg. And that 2015 meeting actually came right here in front of a record crowd of 732 fans, probably packed into those little stands and scattered all around the stands. And despite being down to 10 men for over half the game, Tiffin was able to pull off the victory in a 1-0 tense affair. It was an 8th minute upper 90 finish from Spencer Wood that would win the game for the Dragons over the Student Princes.